Deep inside a government storage facility in the 1970s, investigators made a discovery that unraveled decades of absolute secrecy. In 1973, the director of the CIA had ordered the total destruction of all records tied to a highly illegal human testing program, intending to scrub the operation from history forever. The cover-up was nearly perfect, but a clerical error sent a single stack of financial records to the wrong room, saving them from the shredder. These surviving expense reports formed an accidental forensic map. They provided the exact names, dates, and locations of covert testing sites across the country. The ledgers begged a terrifying question: what specific acts of human destruction were funded by these routine budget lines? A massive intelligence cover-up failed because someone misfiled a box. It turned out, ordinary accounting trails held secrets that intentional destruction could not erase. The origins of those budget lines stretch back to the 1950s, driven by severe Cold War paranoia. American intelligence agencies firmly believed that the Soviet Union and China were developing advanced methods to actively control human minds. Operating out of their headquarters, the CIA launched a desperate, highly classified response. They called it Project MKUltra. The project operated on a flawed hypothesis. The human mind was biological hardware that could be dismantled and reprogrammed. To force this wipe, scientists used extreme sensory deprivation and massive LSD doses. Lacking legitimate medical science, this chemical assault simply caused severe neurological damage. Institutional hubris weaponized a biological impossibility. The result was a taxpayer-funded campaign of pure psychological torture. Those surviving expense reports eventually led investigators directly to the most vulnerable populations in the country. Covert operatives contracted doctors at psychiatric hospitals. These medical professionals betrayed their oath, using their own patients as non-consenting test subjects for extreme mind-altering experiments. The subjects endured relentless waking nightmares. Trapped in extended states of severe drug-induced panic and paranoia, they had no understanding of what was happening. Many suffered total psychological collapse. As the experiments continued, their core memories dissolved entirely, leaving permanent cognitive voids. Places of healing were co-opted by the state to intentionally fracture human minds in pursuit of a failed intelligence theory. The financial records also proved the operation expanded well beyond hospital walls and out onto ordinary city streets. In San Francisco, agents used CIA funds to set up fake brothels, designed explicitly to lure in unexpecting everyday men. Sex workers secretly slipped LSD into clients' drinks. Behind a one-way mirror, CIA agents sat with notepads, passively observing the psychological breakdowns unfold. These men eventually went home to their families, suffering from debilitating panic and fractured realities, entirely unaware they had been drugged by their own government. There were no boundaries. Anyone stopping for a drink could suddenly find themselves drafted into a covert lab experiment. It took nearly 2 decades, but those misfiled receipts eventually found their way into the hands of investigators, shattering the wall of silence. When journalists published the contents of the surviving files, public outrage erupted. Congress was forced to launch open, televised hearings. For the first time, surviving victims sat before the public and gave voice to the specific horrors they had endured in the dark. Denials faltered against hard accounting data. It took undeniable physical paper evidence to force a fully classified agency into the light. Despite immense funding and thousands of ruined lives, Project MKUltra never yielded a single successful instance of mind control. In a desperate attempt to protect the nation from foreign psychological warfare, the intelligence community deployed those exact tactics against its own citizens. The directors who authorized this suffering issued the order to destroy every file. They came incredibly close to erasing their crimes from history entirely. A government agency treated human lives as disposable raw material, and we only know it happened because someone put a box in the wrong room.